Hi flames, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is part 2 of the etymology lessons, and let me just give you a disclaimer. First and foremost, I only signal slash teach those with souls, and there are a few of us waking up because this is our last cycle, or even if it isn't their last cycle, they have awakened. Okay, but they don't have anywhere and anyone to turn to other than those who has awakened, and we're almost out of here. We're at the end. We're at the last mile of the way, in our awakening journey. So this is only for them because they have the wherewithal with inside of them, inside of their DNA, their chromosomes, to accept this, their science, this science, their science. Okay, this ancient African science. Okay, ancient African original beings, original asteroids science. Okay, so with that information being said, I always give you a backdrop. I always try to stimulate your ancient memory, you know, of who you are, yourself, you know. Um, so just take a look at the slides. If it sparks or recalls any astral projection within you, then you know that you are not alone. Okay, we're not by ourselves anyway. So, but that's not what this lesson is about. So here, we are the fallen asteroids or suns or sun children or light beings. Okay, high light beings. Okay, um, ancient ones, Nephilims, beings of old, okay, that are being discussed about in all of the literature here in this wormhole slash planet Earth slash the Matrix slash 3D lockdown. Excuse me, all one in the same. So at any rate, I want to give you some backdrop because if you don't have a basis, a foundation to learning, you know, of thyself, then you're just gonna be a loose cannon. You have all of this data and you don't know how to apply it. Okay. So with that being said, we are, 10% of us here um, are are the fallen ones, and of course, many of some of us have transitioned out, but some of us have had to come back. Now I can bear witness to that, okay? But again, that's not what this is about. This video is about etymology. I'm trying to give you a basis. You need a stepping stone. You need a foundation. And without a writ system, okay, without a communication system, then we cannot relate one to another. We cannot connect one to another. We can't fellowship one to another, okay? Right. Without proper writ system, the rite of passage of all cells slash souls, we just have blank thoughts, blank stares, even or when we did encounter a form of life, another wavelength, um, we just be like, and so on. And those are natural utterances of our cosmic body, okay, of our I slash mind, okay. Always remember the natural way, the cosmic way, the original way of communication is what? It's already demonstrated so eloquently within our central nervous system, okay. Even now, in our higher self, which is dwelling low, in the lower dimensions. And congrats and kudos to those who have vibrated, and now you may have reached the violet chakra, the indigo chakra. Okay, congrats to you. But I'm just speaking in general. And so initially, when we fell into outer gross darkness slash blackness. We fell into a wormhole. Okay, so remember, the They call them snakes here. This is why we're dealing with wordplay. Snake is just a misnomer, a colloquialism for sneaky, cunning, and for preying, for predatorism. Yeah, yeah, I like that. So at any rate, we all reptilians are worms. Okay. So at any rate, we fell into a wormhole, and there we incarnated, and we took on some form of life. Okay, whether it be a tree, whether it be any type of a mammal, any type of a plant life. Okay, so on and so forth. But at any rate, the writ system here, remember, gives us a right of passage. Okay, I can't enter into you without stimuli or stimulating you. Okay, in some way, in some method of communication. Okay, again, from my last video, I shared that the correct method of communication is already in us. It's called photosynthesis. Okay, um, we are wavelengths, thought forms. Okay, um, so we respond to stimuli, your senses. Those are your cosmic powers. They need to be upgraded. Okay, when we're vibrating low, we're asleep, we're dead, we are the walking dead, and we flatline. Okay, we're just a walking talking shell. We have no essence within us. Okay, until we are resuscitated by those great beings called organs within us, chemical messengers. Those are ancestors, higher beings living inside of us. And if we are possessed with the reptilians slash lizard, low vibe reptilians. It's two type of reptilians here, guys. But if we are possessed with them, it's called in layman's term demonic possession. Then they hijack our the little consciousness that we do possess. Okay, and it keeps us asleep. And they block every high form of communication there is. Okay, and every blue moon we'll see something and say, oh, I dream, or oh, I heard, or oh, I felt myself falling. Okay, letting you know, hey, you got a little fire slash life in you. Okay, come on, wake up, step up, push yourself to higher grounds, push yourself to higher consciousness. So at any rate, I have slides up here from my IG channel. I've already been touching on this because this is what I had to learn during my initial awakening process. Okay, wordplay, guys. Words are spells and divinations, incantations, witchcraft, hoodoo. I'm not touching on voodoo. That's totally different. We are being manipulated here, guys. Our strings are being pulled. We're being puppeted here, guys. We are taking on these IDs. Remember, we lack that divine femininity when we fail. This is why you'll start seeing people walking around here half, because they don't yet have the complete system. Remember we learned system yesterday. The stem of the sun. There's no such thing as sun. Guys, we were given all of these overlays, okay, so that we can never, ever, ever escape the veil, which is the flesh garment. But at any rate, you have people here that's awakening. We are able and we are trained to teach you, to stimulate that spark is within you to become full flame again. Hence the image that I gave you in the beginning of this slideshow. So we were given all of these, I'm going to say demons, but they're attachment energies, okay? And they are labeled church, pastor, wife, husband, sister, brother, so on and so forth. But if you are able to understand within, you've been awakened and you're going through your classes, your cosmic classes and your journeys, and you are remembering, and we are remembering. That's all. We're being restored, refined, okay, redefined. All right, we forgot these things. We fell into a cosmic death, or a cosmic amnesia, or a cosmic sleep. Remember, sleep and death is one and the same. Every time we take a nap or whatever, we drift off, we are dead. The body is dead, okay? So at any rate, I want you to be aware of these words, that they have here, these swords that they have here, words of swords. They keep us trapped within. Why? Because we'll become attached to our, let's use this analogy. I have a husband. You know, husband mean housebound. This is a perverted slash, there's no such thing as homosexual, but it's a, for the sake of argument and for the sake of simplicity, okay? Um, because I know some of you are just waking up. So I like to teach on that kindergarten frequency because that's the initial frequency, okay? So look up the etymology of kindergartner. So at any rate, we fell so low. They gave us these labels, okay? So if I go out and get a contract from the low vibe reptilian government, I have a lie to my senses or a license or certificate stating that if I get a consort, then they're gonna name the my partner a husband, and then I would be the wife, which is a flamboyant homosexual bitch. Okay, that is on in the etymology books. You probably can't find it online now because I've already broke that down and explained. Classes move on, and if you're not here with them now, you'll get them the next round, meaning when you incarnate. So at any rate, they gave me those labels because they knew that 9 times out of a 10, my consort would be an incarnate reptilian being, low vibe snake seed. Okay, um, and so they know that that force would have the power to bewitch me and make me become more attached, and that's what they call in love, which there's no such thing as that. So but at any rate, if you read from, remember, wisdom sits on the right hand of the god or the gad or the gut. God mean dog, or the gut. God is, etymology is gut. Okay, you have a second brain in the gut. But at any rate, it would bewitch me so much that I would have this sensation, this feeling, okay, that um I just can't live without this person. Okay, so then that becomes an attachment, guys. That's illusion. That's a deep illusion. That means that I fed into the illusion. All of that which I have just said can be summed up in one word: illusion. We feed into the illusion, and then we subject or submit ourselves and become one, and then we fuse or marry or mate with these labels, which are energies. They're ID energies. So if I say I'm a wife, then guess what? I take on that spirit and that energy, and I exalt all of my. It's like energy vampirism. All of these labels are. I exalt everything pure or everything original within me just to live up to a label, a word, wife, that doesn't even exist in the real world. This is very important because it's keeping you locked down. Here you go, girl. My name is Shakrika, and girl, I'm a wig maker. I'm a stripper, and I'm an all of this. Nothing wrong with you being your job, but you're not them people. You're not those labels. You are so much more. I just showed you that in the 4 slides. I just don't want you to remain bound, guys, enslaved by these IDs. Remember, we lost that part of our consciousness. You know, you have the 3 parts of consciousness. You have the ID, the super ID, and the ego, if I'm not mistaken. So at any rate, I learned that my ID, my true nature, my true self fell asleep. Hence all of these fairy tales called Sleeping Beauty. Guys, they're giving us all them stories to awaken us because the great ones knew that one day we would awaken. So they had these low frequency kindergarten level stories and analogies that would spark the inner man. Okay, we are far more than we were told, and once that flame ignites, guys, there is no stopping. Guys, I took off all of these labels, and I am what I am. You know, I am nature's, the great mother's flame. That's what I am. We are a part of a being, and we are learning of that. We are having to remember and relearn of that being, which in turn is to learn of ourselves. We're just the great mothers, the great universe, the great Yanni versus sails or souls who got out of the sea, the waters. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder where you are. Okay? If this is too much for you, flames, I'm only speaking to you, then take a little bit at a time. Remember, when we're during the initial awakening process, we're still asleep. We're cross. We're sleepwalking. Like, dang, what are they talking about? No, honey, I know I'm going to heaven, honey, cause you're going to hell. I've heard it all. You're going to hell, honey, teaching that, honey, cause Jesus is gonna get you and God too. And I turn around and I say, you know what? When I was waking up, and then, when I had finally grasped on to the true ancient African science, to the true Kemetic science, to the true indigo children slash sun children science, I said, you know what? F Jesus and all these other false deities. They're false. They're living outside of you. The breath of life, the hydrogen atom, the condensation of her waters is already within us. We just have to clean up, become purification. Well, let me say it like this: become purified. Okay, so that we can illuminate once again, enter back into the higher realms that they call in the deep space, which is her yoni. Okay. Um. Um. Like I said, I didn't want to hold you, but I can get carried away in this because I teach from experience, but I like to use visuals. Some of us are visual learners, okay? Guys, when we are awakened, you know your I slash mind. In layman's term, they taught us that it was a mind, but it's really the womb, I, or the what? Pineal gland slash penis, okay? So at any rate, you need to know yourself the correct way. You don't want to be putting false parts on you. Okay? We already have these 2 eyes and 2 ears sitting here, and they doesn't even exist in your real body. Okay? Everything is the what? EYE, EGE, I egg. Okay? And we'll go over that in another video. But at any rate, to sum things up, the awakening is all about exposing the pseudoscience, the gross darkness, not darkness, don't get too confused, the gross darkness. All of these words, they give you, let's give you another example before we go. They give you the word two about 80 million times, 80 different enunciations, 80 different meanings. For what? To keep you bound, so that you will not be free but bound, so that you can subscribe to a belief system. Now the word belief, let's break that down. B, remember, the meaning is in the spelling, which means to cast spells. Okay, belief. You know that we are sometimes called a being, okay, a beam of light. And then you have lie, L-I-E, which means to sleep, which also means death, okay. We are sleep or dead to Eve, all right? Even, balance, okay? Now, you know how to assess and you know how to decode wordplay, okay? Okay, let's do one more or a few more. Let's break a few more codes. Okay, sex. There's no such thing as I had sex. Sex means it's spelled, the correct spelling is S-E-X or H-E-X. S-E-C. S-E-C means to cut or divide. The proper way of saying sex is hex, okay, hex. But the spelling S-E-C is the correct way of spelling it. It's also called hex, okay. Let's do another one. The word light. You have L-I-G-H-T, L-I-T-E, okay. Two different IDs there. Don't get caught up. All right, I think that we all are have some type of a understanding or comprehension of wordplay, which is the casting of spells upon ourselves and another. So we want to come out of that writ system, okay? We want to come out of that thought process, okay? Alright guys, that about does it for this video. If you have any questions or you have anything to add on, if you would like to hear a topic, please don't hesitate and leave it below. I just saw another word, day. Let's do day. Day, D-A-Y, means D-I-E, okay? I think that's Latin, okay? So again, go back to all of these old languages, okay? So that you can learn and decode and disassemble these IDs and extract that part that's important to you in your awakening in your journey. All right, guys, so that about does it. We will chat soon.